It was a cold Saturday evening in early December at a Walmart in Columbus, Ohio. Snow clung to coats and boots as people shuffled forward inch by inch. Emily Parker, 32, stood in line gripping the handle of her cart a little too tightly. She was a single mom, juggling two jobs, one at a dental office during the day and another delivering groceries at night. Tonight, she had rushed here after work to grab dinner before picking up her 6-year-old son, Liam, from her sister's apartment. Emily's cart wasn't full. A box of pasta, a jar of sauce, milk, bread, and a small pack of chicken. She had done the math in her head twice already. Her debit card balance was tight, but it should be enough. It had to be. A few people ahead of her stood an elderly man, maybe late 70s, wearing a worn brown jacket and holding a basket instead of a cart. His hands shook slightly as he rested them on the handle. Inside his basket were simple things: canned soup, a loaf of bread, peanut butter, and a small pack of batteries. Nothing extra. Nothing indulgent. Behind Emily, a tall man in a navy hoodie checked his watch for the third time in a minute. His name was Marcus Reed, 40, a construction project manager who had just worked a 10-hour shift. All he wanted was to get home, heat up leftovers, and collapse on the couch. The delay was testing every ounce of his patience. Up at the front, one register had closed unexpectedly, leaving only 2 cashiers to handle the growing crowd. A murmur of annoyance spread through the line. "Unbelievable," someone muttered. Emily shifted her weight, trying to ignore the pressure building in her chest. She glanced at the elderly man ahead of her. He stared straight ahead, lips pressed together, as if bracing himself for something unseen. When it was finally his turn, the cashier, a young woman named Ashley, smiled politely and began scanning his items. The beep of each scan echoed in the tense space. "That'll be $23.47, Ashley said gently. The man nodded and reached into his coat pocket, pulling out a worn leather wallet. He opened it slowly, counting bills with careful fingers. 1, 2, 3, he paused. His brow furrowed. "I'm sorry," he said quietly, almost to himself, as he checked again. "I thought I had more." Ashley waited, her smile softening. The man's hands trembled as he laid the money on the counter. It was short. By just over $5. "I can put the batteries back," he said quickly, embarrassment coloring his voice. "I don't really need them tonight." Ashley hesitated. Store policy was clear, but moments like this never felt simple. She reached for the batteries. Behind him, the line grew restless. "Come on," someone whispered sharply. Emily felt her stomach tighten. She knew that feeling too well, the heat of embarrassment, the wish to disappear. She remembered standing in a line months earlier, realizing she couldn't afford diapers she desperately needed. The man's shoulders sagged as Ashley removed the batteries. She rescanned the total. "Okay, sir. That brings it to $18.12. He nodded again, forcing a small smile, but his eyes stayed on the counter. That's when something unexpected happened. Marcus, the man in the navy hoodie, stepped forward. "I've got it," he said. The words cut through the noise like a clear bell. The line went quiet. Marcus reached into his pocket and placed a $10 bill on the counter. "For the batteries. And whatever else he needs." The elderly man turned, startled. "Oh no, you don't have to." "It's okay," Marcus said firmly but kindly. "Please." For a moment, the man just stared at him, eyes glistening. "Thank you," he whispered. "You have no idea what this means." Ashley smiled, visibly relieved, and completed the transaction. The batteries went back into the bag. But the moment didn't end there. As Marcus stepped back into line, Emily felt something shift inside her. She looked at her own cart, at the extra pack of cookies she had added for Liam as a small treat. When it was her turn, Ashley scanned her items. Emily held her breath as the total appeared. $31.08. Emily handed over her card, heart pounding. Ashley swiped it once. Declined. "I'm sorry," Ashley said quietly. "It didn't go through." Emily swallowed hard. "Can you try again?" Declined. A familiar wave of panic washed over her. She felt the eyes behind her, the weight of time pressing in. I can put something back," Emily said, already reaching for the cookies. Before Ashley could respond, the elderly man, now finished and standing nearby, stepped forward. "Let me," he said. Emily looked up, shocked. "Oh no, sir, you don't need to." "I want to," he said gently. "Someone helped me today. Please let me pass it on." He placed the exact amount on the counter, his hand steadier now than before. Emily's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you," she said, voice breaking. "Thank you so much." The line was silent again, but this time it wasn't tense. It was something else, something warm. Then another voice spoke up. "Add her cookies back," a woman further down the line said. "I'll cover them." And another. "Put my change toward the next person." In a matter of seconds, a ripple of generosity moved through the crowded store. $5 here. $2 there. Small gestures stacking into something powerful. Ashley wiped her eyes, smiling as she worked faster than ever. What had started as frustration turned into something no one expected. Emily paid and gathered her bags, her hands shaking, not from stress, but from gratitude. She turned to Marcus, to the elderly man, to the strangers who had spoken up. "I'll never forget this," she said. "My son, this means dinner tonight. A good one." Marcus shrugged, a little embarrassed. "Just doing what someone once did for me." The elderly man nodded. "Kindness doesn't disappear," he said. "It multiplies." As people finally exited the store, the snow had stopped. The parking lot lights reflected off the white ground, and for once, nobody seemed in a rush. Emily sat in her car for a moment before starting the engine. She looked at the bags on the passenger seat and let herself cry, not from fear, but from relief and hope. That night, as she tucked Liam into bed, she told him about the store. "Why did they help you, Mommy?" he asked sleepily. "Because someone helped them first," she said. "And because sometimes, being kind is the most important thing we can do." Liam smiled. "I want to do that too." Weeks later, Marcus would barely remember what made him speak up that night. The elderly man would go on using those batteries in a radio he listened to every evening. And Emily would carry that moment with her, a reminder that even in crowded places filled with strangers, humanity can shine through. One small kindness. In a crowded store. A moment everyone remembered.